So right from the jump, I've been hearing that you are a light in the dark places. You need to go into the shadow to help other people elevate their energy. So it was really interesting when I was tuning into your energy, because you were coming through in a way that was, it's like you're very magnetizing, but you also cause a lot of disruption in people's lives because of your energy. But this is what you came here to do. Like, this is why you came back. You're very different to a lot of people, and you might think that you cause a lot of conflict, or you might think, have I done something wrong? Because there seems to be a lot of people that you come into connections with, but their ends up like something would happen. You're not their friend anymore. You know, you're in relationships. Things come in and out of your life very quickly, is what I'm saying. But it's because you're there for a higher purpose and a higher learning for other people. You're there to trigger them. You're there to show them what they need to heal. And it's kind of like a lot of projections when you feel that you've done something wrong, but your energy is just very strong. And I was hearing about this, you going into darker places. So you might be someone that, because you do a lot of, it's kind of like shamanic, the underworld, you work with the dark goddesses, you work with a energy that is very, it's like transient, very fluid, but very disruptive. Like, you are destruction, very like endings and beginnings, like very scorpionic energy. But it's because you have to trigger something in people in order for them to elevate. So you come across a lot of connections in your life where there's like a lot of them leaving your life. So I feel like there's not a lot of very long kind of connections. You might have a few friends that are on the same wavelength, but I pretty much get that not a lot of people. Like, you're very much someone who stands on their own, and you're very much someone who stands to their convictions, is what I get. Like, you're in what you believe in, you're very strong with that. I'm getting this, there's like so many messages coming through. There's something coming through about your work as well, because I feel like you have been second guessing what you came here to do because of because you're very different. Like, the way you're going to work, the way you're going to be seen is not like a lot of people. You're here to pave the way. You're here to do something different because you work on a very soul level. Like, you have a very deep side to you. But this is something that during your childhood and growing up, during your teenage years, even now, you are kind of like persecuted for. You're persecuted for having different beliefs. You're persecuted because you're different, and it's your energy. Because it's like someone would hang around with you, they kind of want to be you, or they would want to emanate your energy. They kind of get disrupted around this. There's a lot of comparison here too, but I don't think a lot of people can emanate your energy because, like I said, you're very different, the world here. But you're also very protective of your boundaries, is what I'm getting. But this is why I'm also getting a message about you. They don't want you to give up. But there's something here where around your work as well, something that you have been wanting to do. There's a goal here that you have envisioned for yourself, but you're very much looking back to more of these connections that have ended. But that's why you're here. You're here to cause a disruption. But in that, don't let it defeat you from what you've come here to do. And you standing in true in what you believe in, standing true to your core belief, no matter what other people say about you, no matter kind of how they walk away from you or judge you, you're being asked to really stand true to that. Because in doing that and knowing your worth, knowing how different you are is what is going to pull you forward, and what is going to make you successful as well, is what I'm getting. but you're very much also asked, because you're a healer and you go through these kind of, like when I say like you go through these darker shadow aspects, or you go to darker places. So I kind of get that you attract a lot of darker, how do I want to say, people, or the shadow aspects of people. You bring that out, or you attract a lot of people that are like that, is what I'm getting. Because you still work in the underworld, but you are very much a light. You're very beautiful as well, but you are very much someone like a lot of people look up to, and you're someone who, there's a mixed thing with you. It's like you know your worth, but you flit in and out of, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because of other projections or people walking away from you, or a lot of connections ending in your life. So sometimes that makes you second guess your worth and why and what you came here to do. But there's a massive cycle ending, and I feel that you know this because something quite dramatic happened in your life where some connection you left, or a lot of people you left. But in doing that, you're realizing your worth. And I think that is what is coming through, is for you to remember how powerful your strengths are, how powerful you are, and your skills and your abilities and your priestess gifts, because you're not going to be for everyone, is totally what I get. But the more you stand into this power and accept that you are very, very different, you will be calling your people in. You'll be calling whatever it is that you're wanting to create in your life, you'll be calling that in. But you need to realize that, yeah, you stand tall alone, but you need to value that, and to know that you don't have conflicts because there is something wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. And you've gone through this huge cycle where you had a huge, like you went through another awakening. You probably spent, because I get this thing that you have kept up your boundaries quite strongly because of past hurts and past connections, is what I'm getting. But also around this thing around self-worth is coming through, also about your financial abundance and what you've been striving for and what you've been aiming for, because you're coming through to an ending, and it's like, now what are we going to look for the future? Are you going to doubt yourself? We have the King of Pentacles here at the bottom. Are you going to doubt yourself, or are you going to use, it's like accepting your shadow self, because your shadow and this aspect of you being very different and very destructive in the way that you cause other people to energetically be moved, be transformed, be healed by your energy. You're in turn, it's like accepting that side of you, accepting all sides. We are both dark and light. But this is what is leading you to your success, to you having this financial abundance, is what I feel is definitely a goal that you have been working towards, and changing a view set on your money, on your finances, and on what you are deserving of in this world. And okay, yeah, the Hermit. So this shows me that you are someone who has to spend a lot of time alone to recharge, is definitely what I'm getting. Because you have really, it's like you go out into the world and you cause, like I said, kind of this, you're like a light and a destructive energy, but you're a destructive energy that's an unseen energy. And I'm not sure many people understand the energy and the current that you emanate, because it comes from your past life. I was also getting a message too about because you went through this other awakening and this other cycle, there's something coming through about a gift. You may have been hearing, have you been hearing when you're sleeping and you're hearing either spirit speaking to you, or you're hearing like a knock at the door? This is spirit wanting to, you asked for some type of sign, you asked for help, and they were coming through to let you know that that was them. So someone heard, you might have heard, yeah, like a noise, a knock, or something fell, and you were kind of thinking, you know, what is this? What was this? So this is just a message that was coming through, that it was spirit that really wanted to get your attention, like, we're actually here. So I feel like your gift with spirit is becoming more heightened, like something will either has happened or will happen, and you're hearing them, because they're definitely coming through quite strongly with your gift of clairvoyance and your gift of clairaudience is coming through. I very much get that there's something really strongly coming through with your work, and you're meant to have some type of voice in this world. You're meant to be relaying something, whether it's just your opinion, whether this is just your opinion in the world. A lot of you are teachers as well, is what I'm getting, but I just kind of get strongly that I keep having to say that you need to remember about if you kind of like accept that you're different, accept these sides of you that sometimes you see as a misfortune, or sometimes you see, as like a curse. You might feel like, okay, I've had all these connections, but a lot of them have ended in my life. Why do I kind of end up alone? But you're on a very different mission, and you need to spend a lot of time alone because you need to protect your energy. There's a lot of people around too that I feel that you did have to walk away because you realize that, okay, my energy is really precious, and whatever the situation is not like, it doesn't feel right, and it's not elevating me. It's like someone's, draining me. So I feel in that realization, accepting that you are different is going to lead you to your success, is going to lead you to the abundance. I'm kind of getting to, there's a lot of things too in your solar plexus about your confidence coming through, to remember how strong you are, because I feel that there's something here about calling your power back and doing some type of cleansing around these, maybe some past connections or people that are trying to latch onto your energy still, is what I'm getting. So now that this cycle is ended and you're coming through to this new kind of endeavor, this new moving forward, I see that because of what has happened, you have gained a different perspective of life. You do see things differently now. And now it's like, I'm taking the downloads, I'm taking all the information that I need, and I'm using this to benefit me. I'm using this to create my course, my whatever you're doing. There's something that you're creating that you want to put online or something, or you're wanting to speak your voice. You're doing something, and you're very protective, or also spirit is very protective of what you're doing. But it's like, I feel this is going to be, whatever this is very abundant. This idea is abundant, but you have to call your power back and remember how, like, there's something here around confidence and your abilities. Look, the Empress, Queen of Cups, like, mastering emotional awareness and kind of what has gone on with you and connections. Honoring your sensitivity, but knowing that your sensitivity is a gift, and it still makes you strong. It still elevates you. You can be this King of Pentacles and this Queen of Cups. King of Pentacles is someone who is very abundant, has very strong boundaries and a foundation of, building an empire, building a future for oneself. But this Queen of Cups too, bringing in the energy of working from my heart chakra, working for the good of all, knowing that I'm sensitive, but owning that. And the Queen of Cups is the most beautiful. What I've read is the Queen of Cups is the most beautiful person in the tarot, but then we've also got the Empress here, which is also someone who is nurturing, kind, and very grounded in the energy. So these are beautiful aspects that you have, but then you still have this real, like, this deep dark side to you, which is very fucking powerful. And that's when you come through with strong transformational energy. It's like having this open heart, having all this like beautiful energy, but also the darkness of shadow and that powerful dark shamanic energy you hold, that underworld energy, that dark goddess energy is powerful as fuck and beautiful too. That's the dark feminine. That's like Lilith energy, where she's wild, she's primordial, she is all of these things, but in that she is able to express herself, to be sexual in her way that she is expressive, and sexuality is all linked to creativity. And this is very something that you're very much in touch with, is what I'm getting. You have a strong energy, like I said, where you will perhaps hang around with people that, like, you have all different types of friends. You don't have one type of friend, because you accept all. You see the good in people. You see, but then you see the shadow, because you understand the shadow aspect of life too. But in that is how you know a lot of stuff, and how you can, it's like, okay, this is what I'm getting. It's like you would know people maybe that were like dealers, or maybe that were criminals. You would go to clubs, you would like, you know, but it's because you're meant to be in these spaces because of the energy that you hold. So you might really like going to these places, or you might have really interesting friends, or you might even just, you know, go to these clubs, these bars, or wherever you're going, or you might, you know, wherever you live, and you might meet really interesting people where you would have really deep conversations where you're actually transforming their energy, but in that gives you more depth, because it's kind of like, yes, you work from both aspects, because you have this higher perspective of life, you know, in the divine like energy, but then you're very much connected to, like I said, this underworld, this understanding that life is the shadow aspect, you know, and sometimes people need to have space in that. People need to be held in that and seen in that. And it's very much where your energy comes through. And actually, I'm not sure if you realize, you might have had conversations with passing people, or people that you've met in the club, and you've really transformed their lives. And even just your energy, I feel that because before I did pick the Queen of Wands, that people are very drawn to you, so they might come and talk to you, and because it's like you're accepting of all, but in the way that I feel that you have also experienced this darker aspect of life, so you're therefore able to articulate and understand this energy, and that's how you transform. So very much like an alchemist, where it's like taking the darker shadow or the energy, and what you're doing is you're alchemizing this. And you're doing this, like, you might even not know you're doing this. You don't have to be a healer to do this. You can literally just be having a conversation with someone, and it's like how your energy comes through is the way that it really affects people energetically. So it's, yeah, very interesting, because you're doing this collectively, and yeah, some of you know you're doing it and some may not know you're doing it, but I very much was getting that about you. So you're just being it's just like, accept that, because that is your gift, and the more you're owning that and owning your power in that, the more that this, whatever you're trying to manifest in your goal, is going to come into fruition. It's going to be very successful for you. Yeah, it's almost like you're finding the, yeah, it's like the key. This is the key. There's like, this is the key to opening something up deeper within you. And I think that's unlocking that acceptance that you are wanting to have. But it's like an acceptance of yourself, it's also something that because you were rejected and persecuted in many, many lives, there's something here around just not fitting in, feeling really different. Like your energy, you just don't feel, you feel very different to a lot of people. And that's why I feel like you don't have like a lot of connections, because a lot of them end. But it's like the key to your own soul's evolution and your own happiness is really much around this self-worth, this valuing, maybe even looking into what your Chiron is in your birth chart, which is the, you know, the wounded healer, and looking at that to further gain more insight into kind of what is here, what is like, what do I need to look at. But I do very much feel this is like very much linked like this card. I hope it's the right way. Very much a link to past lives here. Mean about this like baby here being born is very much why you came back. You even this like these cards emanate like very highly psychic energy, but very dark psychic energy. Like you probably pick up on a lot of darker entities, energies, and like I said, yeah. There's a lot of like spirit energy coming through. I think this is opening up, like I was saying, it's opening up more in you, and you'll be getting different signs. Maybe you visually saw something, or like I said, some of you heard something when. But if you don't want them to, if you hear something and you're just unsure, you can just say no. So yeah, yeah. And very much too, I get around you being able to, like your telepathic gifts, you've always had this, but it's opening up more. You know when people are thinking of you, you know when you know what people think about you. That's why you walk away from connections, and that's why you spend a lot of time alone, because not many people are on your energetic frequency, and you spend a lot of time alone because you know when people are trying just to manipulate you now. Like you went through a really challenging situation. You know when people are trying to manipulate you. You know when people are not the right energy for you and you need to move away from connections. So you very much have it's like a projector of your own mind. And when you're also able to project into the future of what you are like envisioning. So they're also talking about manifestation. So this thing again is coming through about what you're trying to create and you projecting into the future. It's very much like quantum leaping. You can manifest whatever this thing is on your mind when you accept and fully own who you are and your full complete power. So there might even be like a different version of you where you kind of might struggle between but you've always had to change your energy to fit in society or to be a certain way. So your whole life you were always like mimicking other people's energy. You might have always been so then you were like, who am I now? Because you were very much always, when you hang around people or you dim yourself down to merge into their energy to, you know, make people feel more comfortable. But now you're realizing that, okay, I spend more time on my own, so I know that I can elevate, but also that you can also step into this version of you that actually already exists. So that's a lot of things coming through about quantum leaping. And this is like jumping to kind of like this timeline, because, you know, we have many different realities and you actually already exist in this version of yourself. So you're very much going, I'm going meditation, deep kind of visualizations. But yeah, there's so many things coming through. Okay, let me just... I'm hearing it's time to take off the mask now, because this is the key to unlock all your potential, and pretty much this is all revolved around your past life gifts, and they're very much telling me about your astrological chart, which is like a blueprint. So it's a blueprint, right, of like who you were born in this life to be. And then we're looking, like I said, I've mentioned a few things for you to look at. And if you do want to get a personal reading from me as well, you can find all my details below. But also looking, I do some astrological chart readings too. But I very much feel that you are someone who your evolution and what you've came here to do is very much involving, that's interesting. Okay, I'm getting like, I'm just getting like the younger children, the younger generation, because this is an involvement of how life is going to be for them. So that's how you're helping the world, collectively. Like I said, you don't have to be doing this work to be in that energy. I know many people that I have just met in bars that are intuitive and psychic, and I've picked up on it and I've told them, because it's like, you don't have to be doing this work, but you have an energy, like I said, that's very transformative, and you've come back to unlock this like gift, and this gift that you've always had, but you're too afraid to fully stand in it and show. So that's why it's definitely coming through for you to fully stand in this and own the fuck out of who you are. And that's what I have for you. If you like this, don't forget to leave a comment if you did, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. See ya.